Hello and welcome to Crow's Place. We're going to be doing something a little different today. As you notice, my pretty little white lab coat. Um, and Astra's here too.
Hello.
But some of you have heard me complaining, bitching, whining, moaning, whichever you would like to like to quantify that as, about how I don't understand power except for industrial craft. Well, we broke up Blutricity and did some things on our own and decided to talk about it with Mark's help. You're,
Well, as much as I can.
he's my chief bottle washer and item spawner. As you notice, we are in creative, because, we spawned all this stuff in and of course it's going straight back out, when we're done. So, um, let's get started. This is where you want to do, we're trying to focus on what you want to do when you're brand new, just starting in a world, and what kind of power is the best for you. Um, I know industrial craft, we can go into that later, but I knew nothing about Blutricity. So the first thing we wanted to do, and Mark told me about this, is the Voltmeter. Unlike most other Minecraft power options, voltmeters actually work in real world electrical terms. And all you need for them is 5 wood, a nickelite, and 3 copper. Very inexpensive, and that brings you your voltmeter. To use it, it's very simple. All you do is right click, and if there's nothing to click on, it won't do anything. But, oops, I'm sorry, you have to, whoop, there you go, squat and right click. So it's left shift right click, and we'll give you a voltage, amperage, and wattage on whatever you decide to right click on. Now this system is completely full, so it will give the same reading for everything you click on, but you can click on separately your output item, the wiring, batteries, and your input item, and it will give you readings on all of those things at a very cheap entry price. Now, in order to get in, the first thing that you need is an alloy furnace, which is very, 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 very simple. 8 bricks in a circle gives you your alloy furnace. Boom, done. That's easy to make clay, to make bricks out of clay. Secondly, you want to make yourself a silicon bowl, which is 8 coal, 8 sand in your alloy furnace that you just made. They work up really quickly, and boom, there's your silicon bowl. And there's your creek. There's your recipe. Your alloy furnace, you put a coal in, 8 and 8 gives you 1 boule. Now, this is the only part actually, where it gets expensive, is you have to make a diamond handsaw. Um, there are other types. None of them will work for this application. You have to make the diamond handsaw. 2 diamonds, 2 iron ingots, 3 sticks. Very, very simple. In order to work that, you put your, open up. You put your handsaw into your crafting table or project table with the silicon bowl you just made, and boom, that will make you silicon wafers.
And just remember that when you're doing that on the project table, to keep your fingers well out of the way, because that thing is sharp.
Or else you have to get your lab assistant to clean up the blood. Igor, please.
Yes,
The
mistress.
bandages, please. From there, you have your silicon wafer, which is this just plain gray thing. It's a base of a lot of different things that you use for this and for computer craft. But next thing you need to make is a blue doped wafer. Well, when you'll haul out your alloy furnace again, and here is your recipe. With the coal, you take your silicon wafer and add 4 nickelite and cook that up, and it will give you 1 blue doped wafer. So, if we decide to cook this up really quick, and fortunately, these are very fast to cook up. I think that gives you 1, does it not?
I think so, yes.
Yes, just 1. See, this is it gets a little more expensive here, but by this time, if you've gotten your first your first mine's going, you've probably got a ton of nickelite that you don't know what to do with anyway, or at least I had. Next, you need to make your blue alloy ingot. And again, you'll go to your trusty alloy furnace, throw in some coal, 1 silver ingot, and 4 nickelite. And that silver ingot can be either of the silvers. It doesn't matter. And the nice thing about the furnaces is they will cook this stuff up all at once. So you can stack them. You can stack several different recipes in there at the same time. And if they're the same, they will stack just like you see here. And that will give you your lovely blue alloy ingots. And all this has been fairly inexpensive. And what we're making here is your solar panel. These are a lot cheaper than the industrial craft solar panels, so a lot of people find that for entry level this isn't too bad. Thanks, Mark. He's keeping it day for us. And very simple. Again, you take your blue doped wafers and then you put your blue alloy ingot that you just made right into the middle, and that will give you a solar panel. Now that you've got a piece that will collect energy for you or create the energy for you, you've got to find a place to store that. And that would be your battery box. And your battery box, when you right click on it, it has a couple of things that it shows you. It has a little teeny battery signal here and a big battery signal here. So let's go over and take a look at one that's in operation. And we'll show you the gauge. To the left, this is where it actually charges. And you can't really use any of the power until this green area is lit up. The thing on the left is the actual full charge that the battery holds, and this will get depleted as you use it through either charging something in one of these 2 boxes right here or by using it with an associated output device, which we will get to. But first, we're going to show you how to make the battery boxes. And the first thing you're going to need is a BT battery. And these are kind of nice because they're very cheap. They're easy to make. They're about on par. What do you think? About on par as the rechargeable batteries for industrial craft.
Yeah, it's roughly the
Yeah.
same because I mean that's what 4 tin, 2 redstone, and 1 copper wire.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you need in the copper wires, redstone and rubber and copper, and you get what 4 or 6 out of it. So it's comparable, I think. The nice thing about this is you can see I can swap out any of these tins and still get the same battery. I can also swap out these coppers and get the same battery. So to make this, it's nice that it uses all the different coppers from all the different mods. So once you have your batteries made, using up more of that nickelite that I never knew what to do with before, you can actually make your battery box because you have your blue alloy ingot for making your solar panels already. So 1 ingot, 3 iron, 4 BT batteries, and some wood. And then you have your battery box. And last thing you need is something to connect it all together. And that's where your blue alloy wire comes in. And it's really easy to find all this stuff over in NEI because everything starts with BLU. And this wire is super simple. You've already got your blue alloy ingot, so you line them up and surround it with any color wool or any mixture of colors of wool. And that will give you... turn the rain off. Of course it did you just do?
No, I didn't actually.
Okay, let's see. There we go. Off. Hopefully that will calm down in a moment, or we'll have to take a look and let me see. There we go. Yes. Hooray. Back to what we were talking about. 3 ingots and 6 blocks of wool gives you 12 wires. And that's nice for the price, really. So once you've got all these pieces, it's time to set them up and find out what they can do. Mark, can you hit it to make sure it's the start of daytime? Okay, and we're back, and we're going to start up a little experiment where we have a few solar panels laid down. How many do we want? I think I want 10. I'm going to do 10 and have them charge some battery boxes. And we're going to connect those battery boxes to some furnaces in some different ways. And Mark, if you want to wire those in the front, and I'll wire these guys in the back.
Okay.
I'll just do this. And here.
Oh. So let me just...
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. Leave that the way it is, because
Oh.
that's something that we were looking at before. So we did some testing earlier, and there were some things that we wanted to look at about how quickly things charge up. And one other thing nice about these battery boxes is when they're charged, they have that nice blue light. I love visuals. It'll tell you exactly, where it is. But if you'll notice, I don't know if you can tell soon, but this one is farthest out, and this one's right next to. No, it's not doing it. Oh, I think that's because we filled up. Come on, inventory. We filled up this one first. Yeah. So it might take a little bit. Let me put another one actually down here. Like so. And yeah, I know that these are... We'll remember that these have been put on later on. And now let's take a look at some of these applications that we have. Namely, these furnaces that we just put down, which are the blue electric furnaces and the blue alloy furnaces. And again, these are very cheap to get into. The blue electric furnace is just simply another blue alloy ingot, 5 clay blocks in that helmet pattern with an iron ingot on either side of the blue alloy, one at the bottom. Perfect for entry level on this. And again, the blue electric alloy furnace is another, bricks, very simple, and the same pattern across the bottom. Very, very, very cheap stuff to get into. And one thing that we had found, let's see where we are on some of these. We had found that these do charge very slowly. So if you notice, we're just getting into the yellow on some of these. Yeah, not much at all. And these two are actually catching up. But apparently 10 panels isn't a lot to actually take care of this many battery boxes. So we'll see if we can't get it to do it a little faster. See, the nice thing about these guys is you don't have to wire them together. They can just touch each other. You can even run them right up to the edge of the battery box, and that will still charge. You can see it going right there, and actually it's going a lot faster. One of the other things that we want to keep in mind is when the panel touches the battery box, things charge faster. When you have stacked battery boxes like this, it will charge faster if the wire goes up the back rather than if the wire just goes into the bottom battery box and the top charges from the bottom. So there's just little things that we found when we were testing that you can remember. Let's see. These are finally getting to a point where the other ends are about to start charging. Now, some of the fun things that you can do instead of solar for input. Solar is great, but as usual, it doesn't work in the rain. It doesn't work at night. But you can also make windmills and wind turbines. And we were talking about turbine and turbine, but like I was telling Mark earlier, my original science teacher who taught me about wind power pronounced it turbine, not turban, but turbine, like there wasn't an E on the end of it. And I haven't looked it up to find out what's right. I don't know if you...
I say it as turbine.
Yeah, and to me, turbine sounds like you're...
We're gonna make
We're
you some
gonna make...
power with a turbine.
Hold my beer and watch this turbine. But, you know, hey, I live in the South, don't... Yeah, don't go there. But, no, I'm not going to be able to stop laughing.
Focus.
Okay. But, these are fun, but they're not really efficient. But as a point, they do work at night, and they do work when it's raining.
In fact, if anything, they work better when it's raining.
Yeah, and of course, the higher you place them, the better they work, especially the turbine. But to make these, you need to make canvas first. Really simple entry level. Again, you need to stick in some string. To make the actual pieces, you need sails, and sails are just the canvas, 2 sticks, and a block of wood. Again, very simple. If you grow flax, you're in when you're starting, you're up to your neck in string anyway. So this is going to be a very easy thing to make. The windmill itself is only 4 of the sails and an iron slab strip, which you take with your diamond handsaw and make an iron block and cut it up into these strips. So again, that's pretty much the most expensive part of these, which at this point for entry, it really isn't that expensive. The turbine, on the other hand, it takes 3 of those, but you know that's not bad. And we went into this in our power episode about hooking these up. So if you want to take a look, I'll put a link in the description, and you can go see us derping around putting that in. And there they are. Up there we've got our turbine way on the top and the windmill on the front. And you can see that windmill slowly turning. But it is producing power. Couple of things that we learned. The blue electric furnaces are faster than the iron furnaces, which are their IC2 entry-level counterpoint. Not counterpoint, they're words, can't find them. Mark?
The faster than the iron furnaces, even with like a couple of overclockers
Yeah.
in. I've got some iron dust actually cooking away in there now as a
Thank you.
demonstration.
Counterpart. There we go. See, I can't remember my words. Words, things they are.
She's been around too much of the electricity.
I've been exposed.
Moving on.
Okay. But these do run much faster. You can see them actually run that much faster. The negative side to that is that they suck more power. So in order to get through a complete night is falling, you have to have at least 7 solar panels hooked up to 2 batteries fully charged, and that will get you through a night of continuous operation. But that being said, these are not really geared towards continuous operation because they rely on nature, which is in her way fickle. You can't always count on the sunlight. You can't always count on the wind power. When your batteries are drained, they're drained, and if it decides to rain for forever like it does here, you're kind of stuck. So it's a great entry point. It's very inexpensive, as you've seen, but to me, it's not ideal except for intermittent use. So we've got ours put in, and we've got 1 blue electric furnace and 1 blue electric alloy furnace, which we use occasionally. It's a nice, cheap entry-level power form, but entry level I think is all it is. I'm not going to go into blue electric engines here because we're strictly talking about entry level, and once you get to the engines, the expense is definitely not entry level. So I'm just going to wind up here saying, yeah, blue electric is fun. It's something to explore if you like fun things like windmills or cheap solar. Really easy to get into in the beginning of the game. I doubt you're going to stay with it. If you want to play with it, do so. The Blue Electric engines actually look really cool when they're running. They have
There
really
you
neat
go.
animations, but in my personal opinion, which, you know, everybody's personal opinion stinks, um, it's good for entry level, and that's about it. Entry level, intermittent. Anything you want to add?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, we will see you next time, and I'm trying to get us so that we can wave. It's been fun. Next, we're going to probably either be looking at, I don't know, IC2, magmatic, something, lava power, geothermal, who knows? Forestry, maybe. I don't know. But there's no schedule to these. They're going to come out when they come out. So thank you for visiting, and we'll see you on the flip side. Bye.
Bye.